right.
Okay.
Let's do it.
We go live. We are live. Hello and welcome to Talk Chef. I'm one of your hosts, Reka.
I'm your other host, Jordan.
And today we have a very special guest right from Top Chef Portland. We have Chef Nelson German. Nelson, thanks so much for joining us.
Ladies, it's an honor to be here finally on this show.
Finally.
Finally.
I've been following it.
Oh my God.
No. Oh, Nelson, incredible, absolutely incredible. Reka and I even told Nelson before we started the stream, I'm like, we have to hold the gushing for the episode, but we are absolutely huge fans of yours. We were pulling for you to win the show.
I had a Top Chef bracket, and you were in my Top Chef bracket.
Very high up. We
sorry to let you down.
No, you didn't let me
No.
down. You know what let me down? An insane fucking athletics challenge of running through a pear orchard.
Absolutely sick. And we'll touch on that during.
My chefs don't need to be athletes.
Absolutely not. That's a strong stance that Reka and I have.
The crazy thing is I used to be one, but sometimes you get too old for some shit.
What kind of athlete?
I used to play football and basketball a lot, and baseball too. I'm Dominican, so we kind of do it all.
You do look extremely strong. I don't know if that's a weird thing to tell you, but on the show you did. And now you look very strong, so that all makes sense.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And let this be known that even a freaking athlete can't. These challenges are sometimes. I've gone off about challenges like the Pee Wee Herman challenge where they bicycle all around Texas. I'm like, let them cook. Sorry.
I wish it was like that, but there's always some kind of twist. What really happened in the orchard though is there was holes everywhere, so they were ready to harvest. So it was almost like basically driving here in Oakland. It has the most potholes I've ever seen in my life, and I'm from New York. So it was like potholes everywhere and running kitchen shoes. It was really bad. And there's cameras everywhere, so you're trying to hustle and bustle. Even though I could have just walked up to an orchard and a tree and just picked an apple after it, but I just started running for no fucking reason.
That is so funny to be like, cameras on, I gotta hustle.
Yeah.
Oh no, Nelson, I hate that for you. But I mean,
but ultimately, you're still an incredible chef. And
yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Couple orders of business up
Yes.
top. Talk Chef is a food charity-based show, and we had such a blast last season 4, doing a big fundraiser at the end. We're just gonna do that again.
Yeah, it absolutely slapped. We raised an unbelievable amount of money, which Reka and I will be announcing this week. We're just finalizing, making sure we ship out all the prizes that everyone got. Pretty much all of them have been sent out, but we're just finalizing like one or two last things, and then we'll make an announcement. But like, you guys raised a lot of money. That's all I'll say. A lot of money. And we're so thankful. Nelson, for context, we raised money for the Haitian Bridge Alliance, which is providing food and resources to Haitians seeking asylum in Del Rio. And we raised hundreds and hundreds of dollars a couple weeks ago. So we're aiming to do that at the end of season 5 as well. Our charity is not announced yet. We'll be announcing, just like last season. You got to tune in to find out what the charity is going to be.
Guys.
It's going to be another great charity, but
another auction. I don't know.
Could be another auction. Who knows?
Possible. I found something at a thrift store that maybe someone would want to buy. That's pretty cool. And
wow.
Maybe I don't know, guys. So
I do have to ask Nelson. I have some huge news coming in. Has your restaurant or you personally been on the show Check Please Bay Area?
Yes, I have.
Well,
my first restaurant, Alamar.
My dad has seen it. I just received a text message.
Awesome.
So that is absolutely very cool and brings me a lot of joy. That's kind of the first exciting thing to happen tonight. So we're starting off with a bang. I love that.
So that is our first order of business. Our second order of business is something we didn't tell you about, Nelson, which is that just like every episode of Top Chef has a quick fire, so does every episode of Talk Chef. And this doesn't involve cooking. It is just Nelson food preference-based questions. So we're going to give you 10 questions, but it is the fastest quick fire in Top Chef history. It's 45 seconds.
Okay. I'll be ready.
Crazy. Yeah. And just in case you're kind of like, maybe I'll just kind of half-ass these questions. There's some real prizes at stake. So one of the prizes you could win is a deed to the Terlato wine vineyard.
Nice.
Have you ever heard of it?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have.
Okay, Nelson,
Heard about
tell
it
us.
on Top Chef.
No, I heard of it just from being here in the Bay Area and just like being in the kind of around all these winemakers and cool events I've been part of.
Have you?
Wow. Have you tried it?
No, I haven't tried it. Unfortunately. Just
Nelson,
you know,
okay.
it's a
This-
small town, a small world there.
Terlato wine is elusive, and that's something to know because, as our fans know, they sponsored a couple seasons of Top Chef. Their wine is almost impossible to purchase. Reka and I have tried to find it, and they will not sell it to us.
Yeah.
But if on this show you do win a deed to the Terlato vineyard, the
Which
whole
we
vineyard.
assume
Wow.
is the Bermuda Triangle because we can't freaking find it.
We don't know where it is.
And honestly, some of the chefs that have tasted it have said it is
Not their favorite. Not their favorite wine.
not the favorite.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you win a deed to that. You could also win your own personal suite of broken GE appliances, just like you see on the show.
Very
So
cool.
Amazing.
About an oven that'll drop temperature mysteriously, a fryer that doesn't drop temperature, a mandolin that slices your hand off. All of this could be yours if you.
Amazing.
So excited. So Nelson, are you ready for your 10 question quickfire?
I'm ready.
Okay,
Let's do it.
I will start the timer for 45 seconds after Jordan finishes asking question 1.
Great. And I do just one last time want to reiterate this. This is a speed challenge. I feel like sometimes that is lost.
I think that's correct.
And so I just want to hit that one more time. It is a speed challenge.
Yes.
Okay.
But also,
Okay.
if it's a real thinker, you know, whatever you do.
Skip it.
We've honestly never had someone
We've
skip,
never
but
had
I guess it's
do
not
it.
against the rules. Oh,
Say no
he's already-
comment.
Wow. Okay, he's already breaking boxes. Okay, all right. We ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Would you rather have a relay or multi-round quick fire or just like a standard cooking quick fire?
Relay.
What is the best fruit?
Bananas.
What's harder, peeling 15 apples or picking 15 apples?
Peeling.
What's the best neighborhood in New York City?
Washington Heights.
Who is your favorite judge?
Gail Simmons.
Who is your favorite former Top Chef contestant?
Amar Santana.
Hardest thing about being on Top Chef?
Overthinking things.
What's the best food?
Dominican food.
New York City or Northern California?
New York City.
How great are Jordan and Reka?
Amazing.
Oh my God! No,
That's
Fast!
I think you
Beautiful.
have the second fastest time in all of Talk Chef history.
You
Amazing.
hands down have the fastest time of any former chef contestant.
Yes.
Most of them don't even finish. That's why I wanted to warn you one last time. It was about speed. But you absolutely crushed it.
And those answers. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Incredible.
I too, fans of the show will know I also love bananas. I think that's an incredible answer.
Hell yeah. I can eat 2 bunches within 5 minutes. As long as it's super ripe and delicious and sweet, that's my thing.
Interesting.
Wow.
So, Nelson, there's a bit of a controversy on this show about what a too ripe banana is. Do you have an opinion on this?
If it's too mushy, yes, it's overripe. I don't
You hear
like
that,
it too
Reka?
mushy either.
And
Rika, you hear that?
but do you throw that in the trash or do you make banana bread?
Banana bread.
Okay,
bread
Nelson.
or banana bread pudding, actually.
Oh,
My
banana
favorite
bread.
thing to make, yeah.
Oh, okay. I do
The
love
funny
that
thing-
answer.
The funny thing is,
Yeah.
I made a banana bread pudding on the dessert challenge, Quickfire. They never showed it on camera.
What happened? Oh, okay. Well, that's something that Reka and I always have an issue with, and they've gotten better
Yeah.
with it as seasons have gone on. But sometimes they just don't show everyone's dish.
No, unfortunately not. And it looked gorgeous too. So I basically did a banana bread pudding, coconut foam, candied cashews. It was a twist on bread pudding I first made for my wife. Reason why we married. She had my bread pudding one time. It was an amaretto bread pudding with creme anglaise. Learned it in school, and it was like, it's my thing to make for the last 22 years. It's like my one best dessert. And I've been doing one with banana recently. And I actually made it on the show, but I never showed it.
Okay. Wow. I simply must try to make a banana bread pudding.
I love that.
Nelson, we're getting some people in the chat that want me to show you a picture of a banana I ate once.
Okay,
Maybe it'll
Nelson, Reka keeps these bananas until they are unwell, right? Like not well. And then Reka just keeps them in the back of her fridge, and then she transfers them to the freezer, and then she doesn't really ever do anything with them.
Bless your soul, I do not transfer them to the freezer.
Never?
Never. They stay in my fridge.
Wow, I was giving you the benefit of the doubt on that one.
Don't
Reka's
let me find it. I'm worried it'll upset you, but there's also a secret hope that you'll think like I'm cool from it. maybe you'll think I'm cool.
Unbelievable. I also want to say I'm glad you made that bread pudding, and you really lucked out with your wife, because we emailed with her some, and she's a true delight.
She's a true delight.
Yes, she is for sure.
She seems wonderful. So good on you.
She makes my life keep going. You know, it's so hard to keep up with a lot of things, and she makes things happen. A lot of chefs, sometimes we just want to cook and be in our kitchens and do our thing, not answer too many emails and calls, but you know, we have to, especially. But she keeps things going for me, and she's my rock.
Yeah, I'm curious. Do you do all the cooking at home, or does she also like to cook?
Not anymore. And people, she'll always make a joke saying that everyone's always jealous of her being married to a chef, but there's a certain time in our careers and when we overwork ourselves in our restaurants that we just want to go home and just lay down or just sit down and watch TV. We don't want to cook anymore.
Absolutely.
Hence why a lot of chefs, we eat like, unfortunately, this is a little taboo, like frozen pizza and just make a sandwich or eat a banana, you know?
Yes.
It's,
look at this. These are Reka's bananas. Absolutely horrible.
That's not too bad. Not too bad.
Yeah, my dude. Okay. Right before the show, I sent Jordan a picture that I think is nice of some other.
Oh, okay. That's
Reka, we can't see it. All we can see is the Top Chef background.
Hold on. Okay.
I see it now.
It's terrifying.
Now, you know what? If that was plantains, it would be absolutely perfect.
Absolutely, but they're not.
Yeah.
They're not.
Yeah.
Ultimately,
but it depends what you're doing with it.
Hospital.
Yes, and
if you're doing a smoothie or something like that, is actually even better because it blends a lot easier. So depending on what you're using it for.
Yeah, I did make this into banana bread this evening.
Well, Reka, this is a food show. We have to stop this. People are asking in the chat, Nelson. We have someone asking about what your favorite Dominican food is. They say they love stewed eggplant and want to know what yours is.
Stewed eggplant. Stewed eggplant is good. My mom used to make that a lot, but I never liked it as a kid.
Okay.
I like it now, though. My favorite thing is stewed chicken. So it's pollo guisado, which is braised chicken. Every time I visit my mom and grandma's to this day, that's the one dish I ask for.
Yeah.
It's absolutely fantastic with the bitter orange, the sofrito, just the citrus and bold flavors that it has. Absolutely amazing. It just falls off the bone too.
I have a follow-up to that. Favorite Dominican dessert.
Favorite Dominican dessert, the flan. Has to be flan. Well, actually, it's between flan and tres leche.
I would
Which is fantastic too.
Yeah. Two very solid choices.
Yes.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Well, I think those are some great little amuse-bouches to get us into this episode, right? Into Sri Lanka. Okay. So this is the premiere of season 5. And for me, this is sort of like season 4 and 5 are like where Top Chef starts getting like, okay, we're like clipping along.
Yeah.
We're out of curiosity, Nelson, were you a fan of Top Chef before being on it? Or did you just
I was for sure.
We love.
Awesome.
And the most memorable season for me was season 5 because one, it was in New York.
Yes.
And one of my favorites was Carla, of course, and Fabio. Fabio, I think, was charismatic and a really big character.
Yeah.
And I was so into Italian cuisine, and I've been in Italy, so it just attracted me to the show right away.
Hell yeah! I love that. Season of like really lovable people that like kind of like I think Carla Hall is like she's like superstar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Her just an entertainer and amazing cook too.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's my biggest thing for this season. I have a lot of gripes with this season, but it gives me Carla, so I can't be mad. She's, one of my all-time favorites. I used to get her chicken sandwiches all the time when I would go to Nets games. when I still lived in New York, and I just love her.
Yeah, she's amazing.
Oh,
And she does so much for community too, which is great.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think it's very important. That's what I really I'm attracted to. Like, it's all about community. It's what keeps things going in a positive light.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I also think I totally forgot about this, but Carla is 40 in this season.
Yeah.
She's like one of the oldest people up until this point that had like ever, oldest, that have ever been on the show. And I think that, I think that's so cool. I think it probably at this point in time, I think people on TV weren't super nice to women or people of color or people that were a little bit older. And Carla is all three of those things. And for her to be like, whatever, I want to do it and just go for it and then absolutely rock it. I think that's so cool.
And not for nothing, her whole philosophy on the show too is pretty novel for reality TV at that time, especially Bravo TV, of just like, I'm approaching my cooking with love. Like, and I'm on one of the highest stakes food competition shows that's out there, but like everything I do is like beautiful comfort food that's elevated, and like I cook with my heart, and like very good spirited. Later in the season, if you see her like make a mistake, she's like always got such a positive attitude.
Yes.
That's the way to honestly to keep going to when you think too negative, and that's kind of what the show does to you sometimes when you start overthinking things.
Yeah.
You think negative about yourself and your career, and it makes you go a different route. Hence, during the Orchard Challenge, why I was all kind of messed up in the head, and then cook my food, is just, it gets to a point where you're like, am I not good enough when you don't hear any feedback?
Yeah.
If you're not in the top 3. So you start saying to yourself like, oh man, I just got to do something else. And I got to make food that's the normal things, which will be French, Italian, and Spanish was kind of the main thing. And that was seen as high end, fine dining. Definitely not anymore. Now people really appreciate different cultures and want to learn something new, and letting chefs really tell their stories. You know, it's a really special time in the industry now.
I think particularly your season of Top Chef was the best season for that to me of all seasons, because we talk a lot about on this show how French and Italian cooking get a lot of priority in terms of like, you know, whatever. Make elevated food or whatever. And then, you know, other cuisines get called comfort food or too rustic or whatever. And that's
or cheap food, right? Like,
you
know, it's seen as something really cheap. Now it's getting its respect. And mind you, French cuisine and Italian cuisine is absolutely fantastic. Like the food is delicious, but it's been kind of oversaturated throughout the years. And other cultures was seen as something that's like low end, but that's definitely changing now.
Absolutely.
We love. Okay, let's dive into this goofy ass quickfire. So
I hate it.
I know you hate it. Jordan, and me too, doesn't like any quickfire where there's no cooking. And I agree. I think this is like a skills challenge, but there's also a little element of like, who's gonna make it? You know, that they're trying
they're always like, ooh, chase a bunch of crabs around the kitchen, and whoever's the last to catch a crab, you're lit. I'm like, I'm like, I just want to see a dish that I want to eat.
Right. And that's what we were all like kind of really happy about it this season, even though of course there was a lot of twists, but
you guys had that goofy mushroom stump
challenge.
That was hard on my knees. That really put me over the top, and there was spiders everywhere too, which is crazy.
What?
They were real stumps. So want to crawl out from the stump and stuff.
That is crazy. That feels like that was not thought out.
No, that's totally not thought out.
That challenge, even hearing that now, that challenge feels like another, like they had some kind of brand deal with like Campbell's Soup or whatever, and that fell through. So then they were like, well, can we get a stump? There's spiders in it. That is so crazy.
Throwing away 10 free stumps or whatever.
Well, they were trying to play off the history of Portland and being Stumptown and this and that in the past,
You gotta get rid of those spiders or get some fake stuff.
Yeah, right.
We're making food. We had Sasha on for our most recent episode, and she mentioned, because we're like, oh, what are some like, what's like a fun behind the scenes fact? She's like, Tom doesn't wear socks, and I think the fact that there were spiders on their stumps, I don't know. Those are like competing.
The two most upsetting facts we've heard.
Really upsetting things. beautiful. So this goofy challenge is sort of like a little like elimination style thing. The person who ends up last is not going to get to be on the show, which freaking sucks. So peel 15 apples with a paring knife. The 8 lowest, or highest times, meaning they took the longest, have to do the next leg, which is then brunoise 2 cups worth of apples. The remaining 4 have to do the next leg, which is cooking the apples into a dish in 20 minutes. We get 2 people making salads. Stefan won that whole quick fire by doing the fastest of peeling of 15 apples. The dishes are fine. I'd rather have time to ask you questions so we don't need to run through 2 salads. But Lauren got eliminated, which is sad. And
Oh yeah, I felt bad for her.
I felt bad. Her little intro is like, oh, my husband is deployed and I'm not going to sit at home and do nothing. I made my way onto this show, and that sucks.
Very sad.
Now our regular elimination challenge is designing a dish around an area of New York City that people pulled from a knife block. So the areas were Chinatown, Astoria, Little Italy, Little India, Brighton Beach, and Long Island City. And you're cooking head to head with the other person who got your neighborhood. I think this challenge is cool.
It is, I think so. It represents a lot of cool neighborhoods in New York.
I do think I would have liked, this is so down the line, but you know how now they'll do things where they'll be like, oh, you go to this place and then you have lunch and then you cook a dish, which I think would have been nice, because I do think it felt obviously it's a cooking show to set people up to fail, but I do think it feels really bad to just be like, I don't know. I think it's hard to have no knowledge of Russian cuisine and then be expected to make
there was no time to get inspired,
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially because, I feel so much when you can correct me, but when you walk into Whole Foods, it's you probably know how many of those things taste. But when you're in a grocery store that's not as familiar to you and you're like, what is this pickled such and such taste like? You don't know how to combine that into a dish. So I agree. Eugene is really the only one that tasted anything.
Smart.
Smart.
Definitely.
But you know what I'll say? Eugene feels like a person who eats food, whereas sometimes chefs don't always feel that way to me, if I may be so bold.
Yes. And can you elaborate on it? What do you mean?
He seems like a person who goes out to eat at or tries different cuisines. I don't know.
Weirded out by something he hasn't heard of.
Yeah. He just seems very relatable and approachable, and he felt a little more in touch with food to me than some of the other people who were just well, I don't know what this is. I make Italian food or whatever. And it's okay, do you only eat Italian food? I don't know. Eugene just felt maybe he...
Well, he comes from paradise. He's from Hawaii, right? So
that's true. Yeah, I think, and maybe it's just that maybe he just seemed more open to trying stuff. I don't know. It made him seem smarter than everyone else to me.
Honestly, because I think I even know what Indian spot they went to that has that kind of a la carte food buffet thing, and then all the groceries. I'm that is such common sense that I think when you're thrown a new challenge, maybe you don't think about, and maybe that wasn't also available at the other stores. But cool. Let's dive in. So for Team Long Island City, they had to cook Middle Eastern food. So that's Ariane and Stefan. And we just do a quick thumbs up, thumbs down on whether this dish sounded good. And our criteria is so loose. It can be do you want that now? Would you eat this now? Or you could be well, does this sound like a Top Chef dish? Whatever you want. So Ariane made a crusted rack of lamb, farro risotto, and dates with chickpeas.
That sounds great. Yeah.
Stefan made lamb chop with tabbouleh salad and a beef and onion skewer.
I'm going to give this a thumbs down.
Yeah.
To me, sounds
it's a little too much.
Yeah, too much meat, not enough. I don't know. It doesn't feel interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's no story being told. Just putting things together.
Yeah.
It was smart to do it tabbouleh though. That's really cultural.
Yes.
But it could be mainly more North African, not really Arabic.
Yeah.
But it's he well seasoned everything. It was properly cooked. And sometimes that's unfortunately what they look for when they judge. For what a lot of us notice is, yes, they want us to cook our food and want to be open-minded about different cultures, but they're all looking for techniques and all that. And I think that's what Stefan had on that dish. But for me, it didn't make any sense.
Yeah. I'm with you, Nelson.
I think that's a good point, because something I kind of gathered from this is something we've said about mostly the first 2 seasons, which is some of these dishes just seemed like because maybe it's because there wasn't a high base knowledge of the cuisine they were getting when they went in, but it seems like almost like the hotel food version of whatever that was. They weren't super creative. Like if they had to make Italian food, they would have made spaghetti and meatballs equivalent.
Yeah.
Right. None of these were particularly creative to me. I'm like, oh, you made lamb and tabbouleh. Like, okay.
Okay.
Like, sure. So yeah, I'm iffy on it. I'm a sucker for tabbouleh, but I get you. Then we have Astoria, where they had to make Greek cuisine, and that's Jamie and Richard. So Richard made a lamb slider with orzo feta pasta salad.
Say it again.
Lamb slider, and then on the side there was an orzo feta pasta salad.
This isn't a picnic. This is Top Chef.
It's not. It's not. It looked great, and I think it might have tasted great too. But the combination, just like I don't know.
Yeah. I feel like in early seasons too, there is a lot more of like, here's 3 sides, and I made a drink.
Yeah.
Jamie made eggplant puree, seared black bass with wild cucumber cherry tomato salad.
This sounds good to me.
Yeah.
This feels like a dish.
And I forgot to mention, head-to-head, Stefan won, and this head-to-head, Jamie won.
Yeah.
So then for Queens, Jamaican food, Radhika, first Indian on the show. Noted.
Yeah.
That's for me. Thank you. I'd like to thank Radhika.
I was actually pulling for her too. She was one of my top 5.
Oh my God.
Same.
Because I watched this season when it was airing. I was like, who is she? She has to win. And internet is. People didn't have like Instagram and stuff. It was like, who is this woman? Oh my God, I need her to win or I'll die. So Jill made a macadamia crusted plantain fritter with jerk spiced scallops.
Yeah.
This sounds
good to me.
Honestly,
great.
macadamia crusted plantain fritter sounds so
incredible. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Radhika made jerk rubbed halibut on top of a 3-bean rice and mango salad.
This sounds good to me too.
Yeah.
Mango salad.
Sounds super tropical and delicious. Like,
yeah,
makes sense.
Jill was the winner for that head-to-head. For Ozone Park, Latin cuisine, Jeff and Fabio faced off. Jeff has his little, I'm from Miami, I know how to cook Latin food.
Yeah.
Which is an interesting thing he says. And then Fabio made a mango and jalapeno demi-glace pork with mushroom and avocado salad. I don't know. This seemed like 2 random things to me. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm iffy on it.
Yeah,
it might be too. It's too much.
Yeah. I think get that mushroom avocado salad off of there.
That's what I was thinking. A mushroom avocado salad. Like, I'm not saying it can't be done, and I like both of those things, so I'm sure I could enjoy it in a specific way. But it also doesn't make me go yum yum.
Like wet and earthy plus fat, and I'm like, where?
And also wet.
Flavor? Yeah, and also of wet. Where does where do I get punch?
Where's the punch? Yeah.
Where's punch? Then Jeff made a coffee seared tenderloin, smoked plantain with black beans and rice.
Oh, sounds good.
Yeah, and Jeff is the winner.
He had me on rice and beans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by the smoked plantain. I have no clue what that would taste like.
Yeah.
Yeah, me neither.
Okay, Brighton Beach for Russian cuisine was Carla and Hosea. Hosea made a smoked fish trio with caviar, creme fraiche, apple chutney, and smoked turbot. This sounds like a fucking lot to me.
I'm going to give this a thumbs down because I'm sure it's good and I'm sure it tastes good, but I don't think he did any of those fish. So really he just kind of made the garnishes, and that feels like a little bit of a cop out to me.
Yeah. Yeah, so he made basically what you would find in a Russian restaurant as appetizers. Yeah. As like a smorgasbord, where they do a lot of little bites, a lot of canapes. That's basically what you put on the plate. Yeah. So 3 canapes and called it a trio. But, They
Yeah.
they liked it.
Yeah.
If he had done the fish himself, I would be like, that's awesome. I'm super impressed. But just
Yeah.
buying like smoked and cured fish and stuff, I'm kind of like, I don't know if that's a Top Chef dish.
I get that. If you're gonna grill freaking Kwame for buying waffles in season 13,
Yeah.
you know,
Sure.
I think you gotta grill someone for buying pre-smoked fish.
And I will.
And I will. And honestly,
And going back to that, let's give some props to my boy Byron, Chef Byron Gomez. Remember, he's cold smoked the fish, salmon inside a cooler.
yes,
Like that's-
Incredible.
he
that
had
was crazy.
Byron on the show. And what a lovely
Yeah,
did.
yeah, it's my brother.
We love Byron.
we love Byron.
Yeah.
So kind. Yeah. And that's also another thing. I think as you watch Top Chef, it is if I were on the earlier seasons, I might like be kicking myself like we could do all that. Like
Yes.
I just feel like the quality, it's like exponential as the seasons go on. I'm just like the stuff, how creative everybody is with every challenge and what they're able to accomplish in stupid low amounts of time.
Yeah.
So then we get Little Italy for Italian food. Melissa and Leah made farro risotto, farotto,
Mm-hmm.
with seared red snapper and mushroom.
Yeah, this sounds fine, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah. It sounds creative, I think. I think the fact that she used farro in place of risotto.
Yeah.
But a little quick tip: Padma lived in Italy for 15 years,
Oh, yes.
so I know she's a purist when it comes to Italian food.
That's
She
true.
doesn't like things too many twists. Yeah, so I know she wasn't really going for that.
That's
But
a
I
very
think it sounds interesting.
yeah.
Yeah.
For those who haven't seen season 17, Padma Lakshmi fluent in Italian. Read her book.
Unbelievable. Extremely sexy, if you're into that sort of thing, is what I'll say. As a homosexual person, 10 out of 10 for me. I would recommend everyone check it out.
And as another Indian American, I'm like, cool. Melissa made seared ribeye steak with arugula tomato salad, fried mushrooms, and tomato sauce. This didn't sound Italian to me. Am I crazy?
Yeah.
No, I think you're right. And also at the end, it's like this thing, and fried mushrooms in tomato sauce when there was already another tomato thing. I don't know. I'm just confused.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a lot going on.
That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. It looked delicious, though, I gotta say, from the pictures, but
you know
it was
what?
a lot.
That particular line, just like reading it, reminds me like when you're on an airplane and you get food and it's sort of like 5 random things in a little tray
Yeah.
that microwave at the same
That's
temperature.
true.
And so you'll get like stuff that doesn't go together. Chinatown, Chinese food. Patrick and Daniel are assigned that. And Daniel makes ginger chicken poached salad with bok choy, shiitake mushrooms, and fried wontons.
Sure.
Yeah. It's the same creative note. Like I would eat that, but yeah. And Daniel's also laid it on the line. Spoiler. So annoying.
Yeah, stay tuned for it, everybody.
Patrick made seared salmon, bok choy with ginger and scallions, and black rice noodles. I know it didn't end up well, but good. But I would eat that.
Yeah, sounds cool.
Yeah.
There was a thought behind it, you know.
Yes.
Something I appreciate. Jordan and I both are people who love to go to grocery stores and just like look at stuff we haven't bought before in cuisines that we aren't super familiar with. So I do appreciate the idea of like seeing black rice noodles and be like, cool, what's this about?
Yeah.
I'll try it. Yeah.
Which I am a fan of. I will say it was interesting. This show has a history we have talked about of being like, I cook Asian food. That's my thing. And we're like, where in Asia?
Yeah. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Possibly mean?
And what it really means is that they sometimes use soy sauce, is I find generally what it means.
And green onions. And I cook Asian food.
Yeah.
So I appreciated that this was specific to Chinatown and Chinese food. I don't know if either of them super nailed it, but
I think that's hard too, because I mean, I guess like a lot of other places, China is huge.
Yes.
So I think even that suffers from the same thing of kind of being like, oh yeah, this is all just like kind of like vaguely Chinese, but I don't know how much, once again, that's their fault.
yes, like or Americanized Chinese versus
Sure.
Then we go to Little India, which I literally forgot was in this episode. So they were making Indian food. Alex and Eugene, like we said, Eugene tried some of the like stuff that was a la carte, which is so smart.
Incredible.
Both, I think Eugene specific, I don't remember if Alex said this, said that he was like, I've never cooked Indian food, which is, we can put that tally. This is the first time I think someone said it in this series. This is, as an Indian person, something I've clocked. I don't know. I'm sure it is the same with many other cuisines on the show. People be like, I've never cooked Indian food. Oh my God, no, I've never cooked Indian food. Oh no, what is it? I microwave some chickpeas and it continues to happen. It is absolutely fascinating to me. Alex made grilled lamb chops with a spicy ragu and basmati rice.
I don't like this. I'm sorry.
I guess to me, I'm like, I don't get West Indian.
Yeah.
All the words they're using, I'm like, at least Eugene used the word masala. I'm like, I don't even know.
Yeah, Eugene like heard something and was like, okay.
Eugene made a masala rubbed lamb rack with basmati rice and tzatziki, which he basically just made thayar sadam or tachi mamam, which is like Indian curd rice, which Padma says, which I was like, Eugene wins that head to head. Judges table. Yeah.
And that's the difference. He was inspired. So you could tell he's tasting all the food. He had an idea. He didn't know, he wasn't sure if it was Indian, but it was similar and he cooked it and nailed it.
I think and it goes back to like both your and Jordan's point earlier of just like, it is kind of setting you up to fail to not like at least taste a little bit or get to ask questions of like the shop owner or a chef, even of like, what spices do you usually use? Like to like, or like the mother spices of this cuisine. That, because I think it's kind of cool that his tongue knew, like his taste buds knew what Indian food was, even if he's like, I don't cook this. Like that's very rad. So at judges table, Stefan wins. Did I write that down right? He wins, right?
I think so.
Yes, I think he wins.
Honestly, I literally don't remember. I probably tried to block it out because
I just watched it.
I can't. I'll say it.
They're like, the first person that wins has always been Top Chef or whatever, except for eating 3 out of 4 times.
I'll go ahead and say it. Nelson, please do not feel pressured to weigh in because this is your work. But I personally, as no reflection of anyone in the Top Chef universe, will say that I don't like Stefan. Maybe he's an absolutely incredible man now, but I find him extremely off-putting. In both seasons he's on, he had 2 chances.
I had 5 full seasons to read a book, and he is so sexist and like weird and like misogynist. And again, you don't have to say anything. We don't want to put we're not a gotcha show.
Yeah, these only represent Reka and I's opinions.
It's all good. Yeah, he wasn't well liked, and as you can see, no one was even back in the days when I first watched that season. It was just very too cocky. And of course, you have to be confident in a competition, but when you're too overly cocky, just cook your food, man. No one needs to hear all your thoughts and everything. You know, that's what rubs people the wrong way.
That's actually a beautiful statement that I think not enough people think about. Minus this podcast, people do need to hear these thoughts. But outside of this context, not everyone always needs to hear your thoughts, especially if you're kind of a gross man on Top Chef. Just, keep that to you. I'm not interested.
Especially if you think you're funny and your version of being funny is kind of poking at someone or making fun of someone. I think you can just keep that to yourself and like you can podcast and check it out and see if that flies. But we're 2 comedians and it doesn't really work. So you can stick to cooking, Stefan. Then we see that Patrick is eliminated.
Sad. He seemed nice and I hope he's doing well.
Oh, I hope he's doing well. He just seemed like he's inexperienced by no fault of his own.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah. And that's the thing about Top Chef early days is they'll even bring students in. Just came out. It's really not fair.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. And there is that vibe too. I feel like in a lot of communities, like, and especially like I see it in comedy and I'm sure it exists in the chef world. It's like, if I crush this when I'm 24, it's more meaningful than if I crush this when I'm 44. So
that's actually wrong.
Yeah.
So it's literally okay. You're 24. Yeah, so that was our season premiere of Top Chef New York.
Amazing.
Yeah, I thought cool first way to kind of get an intro to how much cool cuisine is in New York. Yeah, I liked this episode.
Yeah, and I'll be honest too. When I started watching it, I was like, apples is the first thing I see, and then my history with that on the show, and then I see plantains being used later on. I was like, okay, I see what I'm doing. I'm watching this.
Plantain was your staple ingredient, right? In Portland?
Yeah. It was my Mr. Ingredient staple. I used plantains in a couple of cool dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was my thing.
Hell yeah. I mean, love plantains.
Yes,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. What an incredible ingredient. And I think like so much you can do with it. I don't know, some of those ingredients where people were like, this is my staple ingredient. I was like, okay, but whatever. But like a plantain, like you can really do endless iterations of it and different dishes with all different flavors.
Almost like
exactly
the way like a protein could be like a tria or whatever. I mean, like you could do so many different savory preps, so many different sweet preps.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
So yeah, we're gonna hop to some like questions if that's cool, Nelson.
Let's do it.
Yeah, what are any like funny or wild secrets? It doesn't have to be anything too wild. From behind the scenes, your time on Top Chef, or anything you've heard just through the grapevine that might tickle a Top Chef fan's fancy.
Let me see, a little cool thing. Yeah, we don't really get to interact with like judges and all that as much. People always ask, oh, how's Padma, how's Tom? We don't really get to interact with them much, especially with us in the pandemic. Yeah. So we don't really know them like that unless we work with them in the past or something, or unless you win, then you get to talk to them more, of course. But people always ask, oh, how's Padma? From what we see, she's a really nice woman. She's does amazing things for community and people of color.
Yeah.
And she has this aura about her, like when she walks in, it's like wow. And it's not even just like with the looks and everything. It's just the way she presents herself. You can tell it comes from a genuine place because she's had to go through a lot in the past, right? To reach the point she's now. And she's very confident, but it's not cocky, not overconfident. And it's a really good energy to be around. With Tom, he's like straight and narrow. He is funny behind the scenes. He has a good sense of humor. He is from New York, but on the show, he's always like, he's in the chef mode.
Yeah.
And it can either intimidate you or it can kind of get you like, okay, we're all the same, we're chefs. And Gail is calm and collective.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's one thing. Like there's something about her and the way when she is articulate and speaking and even just the way she looks at you, it's very articulate. You don't feel intimidated. You don't feel like she's looking down on you. Even if she doesn't like the dish. Yeah, it's really cool. Behind the scenes, I gotta say, big ups to the whole production team. Like it's a huge production. There's a lot of people behind the scenes, but everyone is so genuine. Everyone loves the show. They're so kind to us, especially this time we filmed during the pandemic, the height of it. They really made us feel comfortable and at home.
Oh, that's so wonderful.
We're not in jail per se. We're somewhere we're well taken care of. Of course, there's instances where you feel like you're not, and that's just when you start feeling more pressure in the middle and thick of things. But it's a massive production. What they do is absolutely amazing. It's really magical what they put together.
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Really nice.
Yeah.
Let's see. Ooh, okay. Here's a fun question from Amy. You said in our quickfire that your favorite New York City neighborhood was Washington Heights. If you were assigned Washington Heights, would there be a dish you might cook for that kind of challenge or something that comes to mind from that area?
Oh, good question, Amy.
Yeah. And Amy, if she doesn't know, I am from Washington Heights. Why I mentioned it. I am from New York. I'm born and raised in New York. I'm Dominican from Washington Heights. So there's a lot of staple dishes that we have, especially when you go there. But I either have to go braised chicken, like I mentioned earlier, or oxtail, which I'm really known for out here. But the cool thing
Ooh.
is, if you guys saw from the first episode, I had Chucker, the crazy
Uh-huh.
little dog that I didn't know what it was at, at the beginning. I basically did a rendition of my grandma's braised chicken, or more like braised hen,
Yeah.
on that dish. And why, when Amar had it, you remember that he said like, "This reminds me of my mom," because
Was
he
that
is also
Uh,
Dominican.
did he lick the
yes.
plate? Is that the one where he licked the plate? He licks.
No, that's another one.
Okay.
He might have licked the plate too, because I know he
Yeah.
really
I'm
enjoyed
like, that's cool.
it.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah.
I want to know, do you ever get to taste? Okay, this is a multi-part question. Do you ever get to taste the other food? I'm assuming no, but I am curious. And what do they feed you when you're, especially with you guys in quarantine? What did they feed you?
Amazing questions. For number one, we don't really get to taste our food unless we're whoever we're next to. We'll have a little chance to kind of. We won't get to taste like the whole dish itself, just like little bits of it. But and that's the cool thing about, if you guys see, we've been cooking with each other now. There's a lot of us doing cool
Oh
tours.
yeah.
Yeah, Avishar, Jamie, and Chris was just at Soda Mesa this past weekend. We cooked an amazing dinner together, and it was just a good old time. And it's revitalizing how we all connected so deeply, even
Yeah.
without tasting each other's food. And now that we actually get to cook with each other and be around each other while we're cooking, and not thinking about a competition and being collaborative, we taste each other's food and we're like, now I know why you're on the show. Like, we're all meant to be on there. Like, there was a reason we're there. We
Oh.
weren't just characters that they put together. It's like we're really like, all of us can cook. Like these chefs are amazing. And
Yeah.
it's crazy how after the show we got more in tune with our food. Like, now we cook at a different level. And that's one big props I give to the top chef. Like, even though it breaks you down, when you do bad and you overthink things, but the overthinking actually makes you better, because when you come out of it, you're like, why did I do this when I could have went this route? Like,
Yeah.
this is where I'm more comfortable. This is where I tell better stories. Like with me, when I did the scallop dish in the Orchard Challenge, I was trying to go French. Yes, I can do French cuisine. I did in the past, but I'm not in love with it. I can't put myself in that because that's not my culture.
Yeah.
Then when I started doing more Latin Caribbean, Pan African, I was myself. And people always said the flavor was spot on. Even if I overcook something or technique wasn't right, at least they enjoy the flavor. And that's my biggest thing. But like, one thing I did learn, like one little tip, is how to add more acid to my food, because like Dominican food or ethnic food, what they call ethnic food, can be very heavy sometimes. And adding some kind of more acid or pickled item, like my mom used to put pickled cabbage all the time when I was young, and pickled onions. I never liked it. I used to hate it, but there was a purpose for it, because our food is so starchy that breaks it down, makes it lighter, and
Yeah.
you can keep eating more instead of feeling so bloated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's when I know, like, if I go back, I would add more heat, more acid, more pickled elements.
Do you
So
like
I'm like,
cabbage and onion now?
yeah, yeah, I do more pickle fermenting at my restaurant. I cook with fruits now. Like, I remember before I wouldn't cook with fruits, but it's like one of those things, you learn from it and you get back up and you get stronger, and you're like, wow, this is a new stuff for me, and I'm really enjoying it. Like, now I know my purpose in my field and my cuisine, and where I can put the most love into every dish.
Oh.
Actually, a follow-up from Sean is was there a dish you wish you could have presented to the judges that you didn't get a chance to?
The braised oxtail, I will go for that. So I almost did that during the Pan African Challenge, but they only had one oxtail for anybody to just grab, and it was whole. It wasn't cut up, and I personally never cut the oxtail before.
Sure.
If you want to do like actual, bite-sized pieces,
Yeah.
you have to use a slicer or really big cleaver. We didn't have none of that. So Maria took it. I let her grab it, and she did the wonderful stew.
Yes.
And I did the chicken again. But I wish I would have done the oxtail. Like,
Yeah.
it's my go-to. It's my secret weapon. Like, I have a seafood restaurant called Alamar here, but my braised oxtail is definitely the dish that people come to try.
Oh.
Oh. Oh wow.
Elaine asked, watching, if you, while watching the older seasons, what do you notice about what has changed in the world of cooking and food trends?
A lot of changes. Even from watching this first episode, how Ratherman was the first one who actually said, like, oh, people are going to look at me and they're going to think I'm going to cook all Indian food all the time. But she can do it, but she went other routes. Like, just because you're come from a culture doesn't mean that's the food you're going to cook. You can cook, you can be versatile, but you can still do the food that connects to you.
Mhm.
It's all about connecting with a culture and the type of food. Just because I'm Dominican doesn't mean I cook Dominican food. I never was my biggest focus. I'm using more of it now because it's like, it makes me happy when I do that, because it brings the best memories, and I'm more connected to that. And actually, people are respecting that more now. They want to feel how a chef grew up and what inspires him, what makes him or her. So it's a different mindset. So, and it's cool to see how even just the level of competition has grown so much on the show from past years, and people who come from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
Like for our season, is the most people of color they ever had on the show.
Oh yeah.
Which is really cool, right? And everyone came from a different background, and different style of cooking, which is really unique, and it made it even more special.
Yeah.
These answers are so good.
Thank
Truly.
you.
Let's see. What are some other questions here?
I have a question in the meantime, because I am looking at both the menus for both your restaurants. Are you like a big cocktail guy? Because these cocktails look,
Yes.
I'm a cocktail person. I'm not really like a beer or wine drinker. I'm all about the cocktails. And these cocktails look
Me too.
unbelievable. I want to know, do you have a favorite like general cocktail or cocktail on your menu?
Yes. So I am a big cocktail guy. The last few years, I've been really into the cocktail scene, and really like enjoy being behind the bar. I was kind of forced to do that in my first restaurant, and I just fell in love. It was the first time I was out of the kitchen where I can actually speak to the guests and tell stories and let them know what makes my restaurant, and what makes me happy and what story I'm trying to tell. It wasn't usually you'll come out to the table and you'll see how they're doing, but it's very short. This time I was forced to kind of speak to everyone that was behind the bar while making drinks. And I just fell in love with it. For me, it was like cooking, but with liquids. And I got more in tune to it. I started traveling more, started going to some of the best bars and getting, inspired, and even going to other countries. And I'm into it. Like, I love cooking is my thing for sure, but making cocktails is really special for me now. Because for me, the cocktail starts the experience. First thing you have when you sit down, if you do drink, whether it's a mocktail or cocktail, it's that one drink. And that sets the precedence, to everything else that comes after. If the drink is not good, you're already put off, right? You'll start thinking, damn, this is not good. Maybe the food won't be good. And your standards just get really, really low. When the cocktail is like on point, you're happier.
Yes.
And you're ready to eat, you're ready to feast, and you're just more open to trying things and just having a good time.
Absolutely.
Yes. So my favorite cocktail here, I would say, is the Chan Chan. If you see that on the menu.
Yes, I do. Okay.
Fantastic.
Yes. So it's apricot, spiced honey, lime, bitters. What kind of alcohol is this?
So it's called aguardiente. So aguardiente is a sugarcane rum that comes from Mexico, and also like Colombia and other Central American countries. It's really delicious. Like it's funky, has botanicals. It's not your typical rum. It's not a typical like Dominican rum, Caribbean rum. It's a different level, but it's still a rum. So it's fantastic. Yeah, now we actually do it with banana liqueur. Speaking of bananas, instead of apricot, and it's even better. Yeah, it's even better.
Oh, yum! That looks incredible. All of these look so. I mean, the whole menu looks delicious. But not all chefs, are big into cocktails or even like I go to a lot of restaurants that are nice, and it's like they're pushing the wine, and I get it. Everybody loves wine.
Wine is good. Yeah,
wine is fine, but cocktails are like really creative and fun, and I love that. And
that's the difference. Yeah. That's the difference. And why I got so into it, because there's a creative effort in it. You're telling a story with these cocktails.
Yes.
You're bringing flavors that has to make sense, have to bring complexity and just fun. And you can do so many. It can be so versatile. With wine is delicious. There's a science behind it. You are putting your love and hands to it, but once you put everything into the soil, it does what it does.
Yes.
With cocktails, you have to put all of yourself into it.
Yes. And you use so many different alcohols. Sorry, I'm going on about this menu, but I'm like sweet potato liqueur, the cachaca, right? That's how that's pronounced. That is very good.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
a fan.
delicious.
Okay, I'm coming. I'm coming to this restaurant.
Yeah, sorry.
I'm sold. I'll be there.
I had a question, which is, and maybe this isn't something everybody thinks about when they get on the show, but do you know what you would have cooked in the finale?
You have a general idea, but you don't. I think because of how every challenge really challenges you, you start thinking other things. But what makes it different is that you come with an idea, but then you start learning what the judges really like. You start getting these little feedback, because even though they're saying things, even if they don't like it, they're really giving you feedback.
Yeah.
They're not trying to like break you down. They're giving you little hints of what they would prefer to eat or what flavors they would like in your food. So you start thinking and everything changes. Plus, you're seeing what's available. Certain things that you thought would be available are not available. So everything is just like, you come with an idea and a menu, it all goes away, and you have to think of something new. But you're getting inspired by everything going on, and also the setting that you're in. So who knows what came out of it.
Yeah. Cool. Wow. Okay, do you have a favorite challenge from the Portland season or from Top Chef in general? If you didn't eat all the challenges.
For me, the most personal was a Pan-African challenge, for sure. That one, and also the last one, unfortunately, I got eliminated with the indigenous tribes, because that was an honor to be part of. Like, with the Pan-African challenge, it's the first time that ever happens. And also, eating in that Senegalese restaurant really changed my world.
Wow.
Like, it was my mom cooking for me. Like, all the flavors, and it got me more into my culture. And it made me really proud of being who I am and where I come from. Because as Dominicans, there's a lot of Dominicans who don't see themselves as Black, being part of the African diaspora. They see themselves as being Spanish and Latin, but we are part of the African diaspora. And when I tasted that food, it reassured me of that. It's like, this is our food. This is part of who we are. And it just blew my mind. And just like, now I know my purpose with it is. And I always knew I was Black too. Like, I wasn't that kind of Dominican, but it reassured everything. And then I even did an African ancestry when I got off the show, and found out that my ancestors come from Cameroon, western side of Africa, where actually the most plantains come from, where plantains were first grown. So why I have such a connection to it, it's not just the Dominican side, is that deeper side. It inspired me. It inspired a lot of us who were part of that. Even the ones who aren't Black were inspired. Jamie, for instance, we did a dinner here together, and she cooked the fish that she did on the show for that challenge. We did a collabo together, and it's just that we both connected to it. We all both connected to that food. And she's Vietnamese. Mm-hmm. It's just being an immigrant, being a person of color. There's all these similarities that we all have, and food is that one thing, and flavors. But the other challenge, the indigenous, was really special because we got to cook with ingredients that haven't been cooked with in 100 years. And for these people who were here before us here in this country, like that meant a lot to us, and that was really special. And they did a prayer for us. They cheered us. They loved every dish, even though me and Gabriel got eliminated. They really enjoyed it. It's just that everything was great, It was an amazing honor. Like, it felt like a once in a lifetime opportunity and moment, to see that and to feel it, and to be in that setting by the river was absolutely fantastic.
I'm like tearing up.
I know, so beautiful,
so incredible.
Even though I was in this amazing moment, but I was super in pain too. That's
Yeah.
when my knees like really like started throbbing. But just being in
no.
that moment really like pushed all the pain away.
Yeah.
It was really cool. It was a memorable experience.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. Yeah, guys, does anyone else have any more questions for Nelson? Drop them in the chat.
Yeah. Also, they made you go right into the quick fire, right?
Yeah.
Or not the quick fire, the last chance kitchen.
Yeah, but unfortunately, I couldn't get out of bed. Like I couldn't walk. When I got back to the hotel, my knees just gave out. I was in a wheelchair for almost a month. That's how bad it was.
Oh
They didn't
my
really show how
gosh.
worse it got, but it started in the Orchard Challenge. I tweaked my knees a couple times. It wasn't just once, hitting all the holes, but with the adrenaline and with straps were always working pain, we
Yeah.
just keep going. But then every challenge after that keep getting worse because we're running around, we're on our feet for hours. Like the driving challenge was great, but we're running in the rain. That didn't help. Then the stump and all that definitely didn't help. Bending my knees, but definitely also in that last challenge, we had to go down to the river, and it was like basically a 20-minute walk down in a really steep hill, and it was rainy too, so there was a lot of rocks, a lot of flooding. We're wearing galoshes, so that wasn't helpful on my knees, and it just got worse and worse, where I tore all the cartilage in my knees. Lucky I didn't hit a ligament, so I didn't need surgery. But after that, I couldn't do Last Chance Kitchen. I couldn't walk.
Yeah.
And I knew that I finally had to think about not just myself and my career, but everything else around me, my family, my businesses, and just like, call it quits at the time.
Wow. Holy shit. That is so much.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're back. You seem to be
100%,
Yeah.
Oh, good.
all cylinders. That's incredible.
And you never know. You might see me sometime Last Chance Kitchen. You never know.
Okay.
They might owe me that. Never.
That would be incredible.
That we would absolutely love that.
We would truly fucking love. Wow. Okay. Well, yeah. Does anyone else have any other questions? I mean, I'm trying to think. You answered so many.
You've answered so many questions so beautifully.
Yeah, truly.
Thank you. Yeah, and I think Jordan, I never answered your question about what they gave us to eat.
Oh yeah, please. I do need to know.
Yeah, a lot of great takeout from Portland. Portland's an amazing food city. Akadi, of course, we got to eat again. That was a Senegalese restaurant that we really enjoyed. Give a big up to, I think Hanoi restaurant was the name of it. Hana. It's just beautiful. It's Asian fusion, but they make this steamed chicken with this like turmeric rice. That's absolutely fantastic.
Oh,
like I really enjoyed that.
Isn't Hanoi chicken like a thing? Am I making?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
Hell yeah.
And it's just poach or steamed chicken. Super simple.
Yeah.
But as long as you put a lot of love into it, it's so delicious.
Well, Nelson, if people want to see more from you, where should they go? How can they find you?
Of course, you can find me here in Oakland, California. I have two wonderful places, Alamar Kitchen and Bar on Grand Avenue, and also Soda Mesa, cocktail lounge, which we're in right now. You can come see me here in Oakland, but next I'll be actually going to New Hampshire to Chris's restaurant on November 7th, Sunday.
Whoa!
Yeah, Chris. It's going to be me, Chris, Byron, Jamie, and Avishar might make a special appearance. So that's going to be fantastic. We just cooked in Aspen recently, saw Byron, cooked in Portland with Gabriel and Sarah. The team came over here. Like we all just visiting each other, just really to hang out, but really to also to cook for each other and cook for the people.
Okay, are you guys coming to LA ever?
Yeah. Do you guys want to ever, collaborate with me and Reka on a dinner for me and Reka?
Yeah.
I'm actually planning to go to LA probably mid-November, so I'll definitely give you a call. It'd be great to meet you in person.
Please. Is it to cook or is it just to visit? Maybe.
We're trying to put something together.
Okay, well, if you're putting something together, please let us know. We got to blow it up on the Instagram, and also Reka and I will be there if we're able to.
I'm vegetarian, but I'll eat cocktails.
Yeah, I'll eat anything, and if we can get our little hands on tickets, we will be there. And if you're looking to go out to some good restaurants. I mean, as if you don't have a million chef friends that know good restaurants, but
I need to learn more. I need to learn more for sure.
Comedians who are stupid to take you to restaurants.
yeah,
You know who to call.
you know how to call. It's us.
It's us.
It's perfect.
That'd be
Wow.
amazing.
Much. It was such a blast having you. Please check out Nelson's Instagram, which is linked in the details of this video. Check out his restaurants if you're in the Oakland area. If you're in New Hampshire, oh my God, lucky you.
Yes.
Go to this event. And Nelson, thank you so much for joining us. This was a total blast.
You're the best.
Thank you so much. It was an honor to be part of this, and having fun. And thank you, ladies, for what you guys do and what you guys do for the community and raising money for the charities and the Haitian community. Like that's really special. It makes me even happier to be part of this.
Oh, thank you so much. We really appreciate it.
And now I get to tell you what this Bravo producer hiding in the corner just told me, which is that you are Top Chef.
Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know this, but there's actually 2 ways to become a Top Chef, and we'll keep saying this until Bravo reaches out and asks us to stop. You can either be on the reality cooking competition show Top Chef, or you can guest on the live stream YouTube TV show for charity Talk Chef.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Either way, an Indian woman's going to tell you you're Top Chef, and that's why that's why it works. That's why the translation works. So you can be out there. Well, thank you again, Nelson. We hope to catch you in LA. And thanks for tuning in, everyone. See you next time.
Bye.